Okay, Vikram, how this is going to go down today's classes? There are 22 questions, sort of a sectional test per se. Questions from different areas, quant questions from different areas. What you're going to do is, when the question pops up, you're going to decide whether you're going to attempt this or not attempt this. That is it. Your participation, your effort is going to be limited to whether you're going to do it in round 1 or round 2, or you're going to skip it. Nothing beyond that. I will solve every question after you have voted for round 1 or round 2. So let's start. The first poll is going live. Please vote for the first question. After 30 seconds, out of 13 people, 11 have voted this time, of which 6 are saying they will attempt this in round 1, 5 are saying they will attempt this in round 2. This is the second go around. In the first time, when the recording had not started, after 30 seconds, there had been 3 votes. I had partially solved the question and then restarted this entire exercise, and now the voting has increased. So, okay, this voting is not really a fair description of where the mind was. But anyway, how to solve this? The larger one is 20% full or 1/5 full. The smaller one has a capacity of 30 and is having 25 liters within it. When this is shifted to the larger one, let's say its capacity was X. So 1 by 5X plus 25, this is equal to 11 by 30X, 11/30th of its capacity. This will enable us to figure out what X is, blah, blah. You will get X is equal to 150. I'm skipping the steps because I had solved it earlier already. If anybody is watching this video and wants to solve it, go ahead, do that for yourself. Once we get the larger barrel has a capacity of 150, the smaller one has a capacity of 30. So how many smaller barrels will be needed to fill the larger barrel completely? Answer will be 5. 150 by 30. Answer will be 5. This takes care of the first question. Let us now go to the second one. Okay, at the end of 30 seconds, out of 14 people in class, 13 have voted. 6 are saying they will do it in round 1. 6 are saying they will do it in round 2. 1 is saying they will skip it. Now, round 1 and round 2, I don't really mind. The person who is skipping, maybe this will help you. In the figure, the triangle ABC is inscribed in the rectangle AEFD. The length of the line joining the midpoints of AB, midpoint of AB will be somewhere here, and BC will be somewhere here. So this is the line we are talking of. Now understand, within triangle ABC, midpoint of AB and midpoint of BC will be equal to half of AC. Now AC, I know this is 6, this is 90 degree. What is the length of AD? 6 plus 2, this is 8. If this is 8, AC should be 10, half of AC should be 5. So answer should be option 5. Some of us may have picked round 2 for the simple reason that this would require you to draw the diagram in the notebook and then you would figure it out, which is a perfectly reasonable decision to make. Some of you would have been able to see, okay, 8, 6, 10, 5, midpoint only we have to see. You can probably mentally draw the lines and work your way forward. Round 1 is also okay. The person who is skipping within 30 seconds is most likely skipping because this is geometry. I don't like geometry. Geometry is tough. Please don't make decisions based on topic. Hopefully, we understand this. Also, do you think 30 seconds is too little a time, or should we do go 40 seconds, 45 seconds? What duration do you think would be appropriate? Or is 35? Okay. Think as if you have a say in this. It is 30 seconds, deal with it. Okay, next question. In fact, it wouldn't be 30 seconds universally. Let's say for this one, it has to be more than 30 seconds because the text is heavy. So I will adjust the timing accordingly. My best take on how much time it should take for a decision. Okay, we are 45 seconds in. I disturbed you in between. So let's say 5 seconds off of that. We are 40 seconds in, and 6 people have decided whether they're going to attempt this in round 1 or round 2. Of the 6 people who have decided, all 6 of them have decided they are going to do it in round 2, which makes good sense here. Which makes good sense. Let me solve. Abhinav, Bairag, and Chirantan are born on the same day in 3 consecutive alternate years. The youngest was born in the year X, the middle one was born X minus 2, the eldest was born in the year X minus 1. Now see, this question has done one wonderful thing. What they have done is, let's say the ages of the 3 people, the ages of the 3 kids will be A plus 2, and A plus 4. The oldest, who was born in the year X minus 4, his age will be A plus 4. The middle person will have his age as A plus 2. Although the expression given here is X minus 2, this is for the year. This is not for the age, this is for the year. Chirantan is elder to Anubhav, who is younger than Bairag. Basically, Anubhav is the youngest. Further, Bairag was born at a difference of 2 years from Anubhav. So this is Bairag. This is Chirantan. Chirantan, Bairag, and Anubhav. Okay, the sum of current ages of all 3 is even. So 3A plus 6 is even, or we are saying A is even itself. 6 is of course even, A is even. And 3 times Anubhav's current age is 2 less than twice of Chirantan's current age. 3 times of Anubhav's current age is 2 years less than twice of Chirantan's current age. 2 times A plus 4, or we get 3A plus 2 is equal to 2A plus 8, or A is equal to 6. This is 6, this is 8, this is 10. What is the age of the neither the youngest nor the eldest among the 3? Answer is option 8. Given the fact that it requires so much processing, it is of course going to be, the decision of round 2 is not flawed. Govind, look at this. The first line we had was this. Chirantan is elder to Anubhav, who is younger than Bairag. From this line, I'm only inferring that Anubhav is the youngest. Agreed? Chirantan is elder to Anubhav, and Anubhav is younger than Bairag. So Anubhav is the youngest. This I'm agreeing. Hopefully you agree with this. So Anubhav is the smallest one with A. The next line says, further, Bairag was born at a difference of 2 years from Anubhav. So Bairag has to necessarily be A plus 2, no? Bairag cannot be A plus 4. So both these lines together gives me the precise who is the oldest, who is the youngest, who is the whatever. And after that, so If you chose round 2, good decision. Let us go to the next one then. Some Bali processing was not needed. I'm doing it in completion. This never really became a factor, but I'm doing it in completion. That I understand. I would have most likely done this in my head, but fun. Because in this question, the bigger challenge is always people would write stuff down this way. Once you do this, life becomes terribly difficult. Even if that line was not there, it would still probably be round 2 for most people. We don't care about what the question setter is doing right now. Right now, what Ayush thinks, that is what is important. You think this is round 2, that is good. Fun. Next question now. Say for this question, the time I'll give you is 20 seconds. Cool. So at the end of roughly 20 seconds, 13 or 14 people have decided, which is great. All those 13 people have decided we are going, sorry, of those 13 people, 11 have decided we are going to do it in round 1. 2 people have decided we are going to do it in round 2, which is okay. Now, if alpha and beta are roots of this expression, hopefully you can see alpha, beta are equal to -3 and -4. This is identified straight away. If you can't see this straight away, then you're deciding to do it in round 2, that's fine. But otherwise, -3 and -4 is seen. Hopefully, nobody made the mistake of thinking this would be 3 and 4. The sum here will not be 3 and 4, the sum here will be -3 and -4. Or the individual values would be -3 and -4. Then the equation whose roots are a alpha plus beta whole square, so 49, and alpha minus beta whole square will be 1. So the two roots for the new equation that we are creating, the two roots are 49 and 1. Sum of roots is -50, product of roots is 49. Clearly the first option is where the stuff is happening. Otherwise, you don't know sum of roots, you can probably go down this path, x minus 49, x minus 1. When you open it up, then you'll get to the first expression. But in either case, this is one of the simpler questions and should be decided upon. Solved or not solved is a separate thing, but should be decided upon very quickly. Say if you're poor at algebra and you don't really get the triggers in algebra, you don't really see whatever the requirement is here, and then you decide straight away after 15 seconds, okay, I'm running away from it. That is also fine. But don't spend 2 minutes on this and then I don't know how to identify roots and what can I do here. Don't try to solve wonderful things when that trigger that doesn't come to you. We are in a game in which we have to maximize our score in the limited amount of time. Don't waste time in doing extra stuff. Okay, moving on. Next thing now. Okay. This one. Oh, I haven't started the code. Oh, wrong. Okay, 37 seconds in, and you had basically seen the question for 2 more seconds. Out of 15 people, 14 have decided which way they are leaning in terms of voting. One person is going to do it in round 1. 12 people have decided they are going to do it in round 2. And one person has decided they are going to skip, which is okay. Now see, in this question, if you remember, one of the more fundamental principles of installment and payment and everything gets utilized. A customer obtained from his bank a loan of 2420 on June 1, 1993. June 1. He paid 730 on July 1, 460 on October 1, and 995 on November 1 for the same year. The bank charges 12% simple interest on all sums that the customer owes. The amount that was payable by the customer to the bank on December 31st, 1993, as his last installment was most clear. One way to do this would be, after 1 month, how much does he owe? It will be 2420 into 1.01. Do you understand why 1.01? This is 12% simple, or 12% simple interest per annum. So 1% per month. So एक महीने में, in 1 month you would reach 2420 into 1%. Now from this you subtract 730. Now whatever amount you get from July 1, July to August, August to September, September to October. Now this into 1.03 minus 460, then this into 1.01 minus how much? 995, and then finally this into 1.02. And then you can think of reaching your answer this way. This is not wrong. This is of course extremely painful. Is this painful or not painful? Basically, this means you are entirely reliant on the calculator. Without the calculator, there is no way forward. The other thought that you can have is this 2420 that was borrowed for a total period of 7 months. So 2420 into 1.07. This is the amount due at the end of the year. But payments have been made in the interim. The payments that have been made, the bank will continue to earn interest on them. For this payment, the bank will earn interest for 6 months. For this payment, the bank will earn interest for 3 months. For this payment, the bank will earn interest for 2 months. So 460 into 1.03 plus 995 into 1.02 plus the final payment, whatever final payment. This I hope is far more convenient than the previous one, because even within the calculator, this would be easier to pull off. I am guessing. If you've taken money on June 1, Ritik, if you've taken money on June 1, how many months do you have to pay? For how many months do you have to pay interest on it? All the months, June onwards. So how many months are there? June onwards till December 31st, 7 months. Per month, the rate is 1%. So this is what you would have to do. The answer in this case would come out to be option 3. But this is manageable. I'm guessing this is more manageable than what we had previously. At least within this, you can even look at the unit digit and then reach the answer. What will be the unit digit here? Can you see? 0.4. On the LHS, the unit digit will be 0.4. No. Yes, something will be 0.4. What will be the unit digit here? 0.8. Unit digit here, 0.8. And unit digit here. Unit digit here will be how much? Zero. I'm not certain. 995 into 51 by 50. Okay. 20, sorry, 25. 5 से कट रहा है, तो 10, and here I will get 199, 199. So here it will be 0.9, 0.9, 0.9 plus x. So 0.8, 0.8, 0.9, 0.5 plus x is giving you 0.4. Can I say x will have 0.9 in it? Yes, no. Otherwise, if you want to do the entire calculation, that is also fine. It is just that you can also look at unit digits here. Here for the unit digit, please pay attention. 2190 दे दिया है, 230 बचा है. 2190 कब दे दिया? In the summation of these three amounts. No, you cannot do that. The amount that is paid on 730 and the amount that is paid on October 1, are they equivalent amounts? The amount that is paid on July 1 and the amount that is paid on October, you cannot equate them. You can only compare things when you are bringing them to the same point of time. Remember, this is why I'm saying this is the word is far fetched. Yes, yes, that is also perfectly all right. Let us go to the next one then. Fun. Please. At the end of 33 seconds, which means 30 seconds of looking at the question, 10 people have voted, of which 7 people are voting. I will do it in round 1. 3 people are voting. I will do it in round 2. 5 people have not decided. This question doesn't deserve more than 30 seconds of decision making time. Straight away, you have to go. A, B, C are 3 points on the arc of a semicircle, so that the angles subtended by the chords AB and AC at the center are 60 and 100 respectively. AB subtends 60, AC subtends 100, which means this is 40 degree, which means chord BC on the center subtends 40. So on the edge will subtend 20. What is BAC? Will be 20 degree. Option B. This is the entirety of this question. But then again, if somebody has decided, I will have to draw the diagram to see this. Then it is fine if you've chosen round 2. But if somebody, I don't know, if in case in your head you had this idea, 90 degree, these are 90 degree angles, then it is a flawed trigger. Of course, these are not 90 degrees. Why not? Why aren't they 90 degrees? Forget the solving part of it. But had they been 90 degree, AB and AC, the angle subtended by AB at the center, if it was 60, if this was 90 degree, angle subtended by AC would have been 120. AC would have perfectly had it been perfectly bisected, then the central angles would have been equal, no? Okay, let's go. Next voting. Poll is launched. Next question. And good enough. We had roughly 40 seconds of polling done. 10 out of 15 people have decided, which is not a great number. Precisely split down the middle. 5 people in round 1 and 5 people in round 2. That is fine. Atul hired a private investigator to keep a tab on his wife's activities. The other day at a traffic intersection, he caught a glimpse of her in a car with a man he had never seen before. The investigator asked Atul to recall the registration number, which had 4 digits. What were the 4 digits? Achha. Unable to recall the number straight away, Atul informed the investigator. uh, our usual problem again. I don't remember the number, but I remember all these beautiful properties about the number. Useless person. Atul informed the investigator that if you will divide the registration number by 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, you will find that the remainder is always 1. But if you divide it by 11, there will not be any remainder. Further, it is the smallest number that fulfills all this criteria. The perplexed investigator calculated the correct registration number of the car to be. We need a number that is a multiple of 11. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 1. Is this a multiple of 11? No. Is this a multiple of 11? Yes. But does it leave a remainder? Does it leave a remainder of 1 with 2? No. Is this a multiple of 11? No. The only option left is this. This has to be the answer. So anyone who thought, see, people who have chosen round 2, most likely you did not even look at the options before deciding this is worthy of round 2. You had thought, okay, LCM of these things plus 1 and a multiple of 11k, so I'll have to do some work around it. Please look at the options. Options are very much a part of the question. Next question. One minute, people. This word should be cubes, not cubes. Okay. Ending the poll. 13 out of 14 people have decided what they are going to do. 5 people in round 1, 8 people in round 2, which is fine. If you want to make a special expression out of it, this is, oopsie, this should be x plus 1 and this should be x minus 1. 3 consecutive positive integers are such that the square of their sum exceeds the sum of their squares. See? Square of their sums. Their sum is 3x. 3x square minus the difference, exceeds the sum of their squares. Sum of their squares will be x square plus 1 minus 2x plus x square plus 1 plus 2x. This is equal to 214. So this is gone, this is gone. We've got 9x square minus 3x square plus 2. So 6x square is equal to, minus 2 is equal to 216, or x square is equal to 36. So x is 6, 3 consecutive positive integers. So this has to be 5, this has to be 7. Finally, we need 7 cube minus 5 cube, which is as good as, what is it? 280. 343 and 125, 280. So this is the entire solving part of it. In case you are paying attention, if you had simply look at these options, this is a cube, this is a cube, this is a cube. They are not difference of any two perfect cube numbers. They are not the difference of any two perfect cube numbers. For three positive, see, 8 is definitely not. You could have 2 cube minus 0 cube, but then one number will not be a positive. This is not possible. This is not possible. This is not possible. The only option out of the lot that was possible was 218. You could have happily marked the answer from there and moved on. All this solving, all this processing is additional work, which is fine if you want to do it. But then a cube minus b cube can't be a cube. Which a cube minus b cube will give you 864 or 125? If there existed, you don't know, then they don't exist. These are two small numbers. Had it been 2781394, had it been a 6-digit number, a 5-digit number, then I'm not talking of anything at all. Then we'll see. Isme, right now, for these numbers, I know for certain none of this happens. These numbers are very small. These numbers are identifiable numbers. We have worked with them several times over. These are not happening. That is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the difference of two cubes cannot be a perfect cube ever. It can be, but for these numbers, of course, it is not happening. Okay. Maybe I phrased it wrong. Next question. At the end of roughly 40 seconds, 13 out of 15 people have voted. 5 saying they will do this in round 1, 7 saying they will do this in round 2, and 1 person saying they will skip. I don't know if you've noticed, I have deliberately not put question numbers anywhere. I have deliberately not put question numbers anywhere for the simple reason I don't want you to be thinking of, okay, we have reached question 18 by now. We have reached question 17 by now. That doesn't really matter where you have reached. Just the question. The only thing you should be focusing on is the question. Okay. I am doing this inefficiently because according to me, this was one of the more difficult questions in this test. But there are 5 people who are going to do this in round 1, which means they're claiming they will complete this in under 1 minute, which is amazing. In table tennis, the first player to score 21 points wins. Service alternates between 2 players after every 5 points. The player can score points both during his service and his opponent's service. Okay. Shashank beats Vikas 21-16. So a total of 37 points have been scored. So player 1, the person who started serving, would have served 20 times, and player 2 would have served 17 times. This much we agree with, people. Player 1 would have served 20 times and player 2 would have served 17 times by now. When the game is ending, these many serves have taken place. If the player who was serving won 24 of the points played, then who served first? Let's say Shashank and Vikas. Point 1 own serve is X. If 24 points were won by the player who was serving, then total were 37 points. 13 points are won by the opponent. Point 1 on own serve is X. So point 1 on opponent's serve will be 21 minus X. And point 1 on own serve here is 24 minus X. And here it will be X minus 8. Yes. These four categories make sense. Points one on own serve, points one on opponent serve. These four expressions, these four categories make sense, people. Okay. So now see, Shashank has served for these two expressions. No, Shashank has served for 2x minus 8 times. This is the serves that Shashank has done. And serves that Vikas have done are these 45 minus 2x. Now simply tell me this. One of the player has served 20 times. One of the players has served 17 times. 2x minus 8 will either be equal to 20 or 17. Can it be equal to 17? Can it be equal to 17? No. Then x would turn out to be a decimal number. It is impossible. So Shashank has served 20 times. Shashank was player 1. Answer to the question is option A. Or if you want to go to this path, 45 minus 2x, this is either equal to 20 or equal to 17. Can this be equal to 20? No. Then x will turn out to be decimal. This is not possible. So 45 minus 2x is 17. So Vikas has served 17 times. So Shashank has served 20 times. Therefore, so on and so forth. Pay attention. You did not have to find out the value of x. You did not have to find out the value of x. In case you want to, you can. X is 14. This becomes 7. This becomes 10. This becomes 6. And after all this, now I'm wondering, now would you probably change your vote? People, the 5 people who said round 1, we would still do it in round 1. Okay. Then our decision to vote was not based on let's say round 1 or round 2. Our decision to vote was based on I have seen something of this sort earlier. Please don't do that. In this question, if you can see precisely what is to be done and you will do it within 1 minute, then okay. Otherwise, no. This is different question. Yes. Next question. People wait. This is wrong. Wait. This is supposed to be divided by ending the poll and restarting. Go ahead. And how is this happening? I had changed everything. Okay. At the end of restarted 30 seconds, of the 12 people who have voted out of 14, 9 are saying they'll do it in round 1, 3 are saying they'll do it in round 2. Okay. Now, hopefully, you can see this question is nothing but simplification. Of course, there's nothing but simplification. But within simplification, there are unusual things happening. Can you write this as 5 by 2 minus 1.625 minus 13 by 8 whole square into 4 by 7? This is the entire expression. Costo, there is no way it can be division for a whole. Division is division with the bracket. Instead of the plus sign, it is a division sign. Now, only working for this part, we get 7 by 8 whole square into 4 by 7. So we get 7 into 7 by 16 left here. 1 minus 7 by 16. This is equal to 9 by 16. So this is equal to 3 by 4 whole square, or the second option. Fun enough. Basically, either see, it is always preferable if you have decimal numbers and you can convert them into fractions. Convert them into fractions, your life becomes easier. If you had converted this 2.5 minus 1.625, you would have gotten a 0.875 whole square. And I don't know about you, I think 0.875 whole square is difficult to undertake. At least for me, it is difficult to undertake. That you can see 7 by 8. That you can see 7 by 8, but then you can directly get 7 by 8 anyway here also, no? If you have converted 2.5 to 2.5, of course you are not going from 0.875 to 7 by 8. Then you are going to go, let me use a calculator now. Anyway, moving forward. Simple question, but fun. I was shocked, my screen was not updating the votes coming in. Okay, at the end of 30 seconds, 13 out of 14 people have voted. 2 saying round 2, 11 saying round 1. Good. ABCD square, A is equal to half ED. So if this is 1, this is 2, so this is 3. Total area will be 9. This is 2 into 3. The area here is 6. This is 1 into 3. Area here is 1.5. Area here is 1.5. Ratio of the area of the shaded portion, 7.5 by 1.5, or ratio of 5 is to 1. This should do well. Let me relaunch the code, go to the next one. Okay. I'm thoroughly surprised, but okay, whatever you like. The following operations are defined for real numbers. A hashtag B is equal to A plus B if A and B both are positive. Else A hashtag B is equal to 1. If A at the rate and A at the rate B is equal to A into B, A raised to the power A plus B, if A into B is positive, else A at the rate B is equal to 1. Okay. So do you know this wonderful thing? Anytime anything is negative, we get, oh, anytime one of the things is negative, because in the second case, if both of them are negative, then we will still have this expression, no? So that is one. Let's see. 2 hashtag 1 will be equal to 3. 1 at the rate 2 will be equal to 2 raised to the power 3 or 8. Answer is option C. Yes, but I'm still surprised that 10 out of 13 people have decided to do it in round 1. Because at least for my own personal bias, whenever I see something like this, I decide, okay, I'll do it later. I'm not doing this right away. But clearly, the general population has a different take than me, which is fine. Yes, yes, such questions are easy, but it is just that it requires me to carefully read everything, write stuff down. So I decide I'll do it later. But that is not a trigger, or that is not a habit that you people have picked up, which is wonderful. Please do this. I forgot. Whole is life. Okay. Okay. Roughly 30 seconds in, 13 or 14 people have voted. 5 doing it in round 1, 7 doing it in round 2, 1% deciding to skip. People who are deciding to do this in round 2 or people who are deciding to skip this, is it because of this part? Is it because of this part? Log 10 0.1, because this will require some sort of processing. Round 2 or skip. People who are saying round 2 or skip. Is it because of the second part? No. Because fun thing, 1 hashtag 1 is equal to 2, 2 hashtag 2 is equal to 4. So you've got 4 minus, this part is actually pretty useless because this is a negative number, this is a positive number. So A into B is not positive. So this is equal to 1. Whole thing divided by 1 at the rate of 2 or 2 cube. This becomes 3 by 8, option A. But yet, this question, there are lots many more people who are going round 2. There is one person who is skipping this entirely because we saw something log based here, we saw something log based here, we saw some Ajib sa power here, and we decided no, this question doesn't deserve time right now. I will skip or go away from it. Okay. I don't mind round 2 decisions. I don't mind round 2 decisions, but please read every part of the question very carefully. Sometimes there are beautiful clues hidden there. Good. Let's go. And the 45 seconds, 12 out of 14 people have voted. Of those 12 people, 3 are doing it in round 1, 9 are doing it in round 2. Again, pay attention, pay attention. If x was 2 and y was 1, this would become 1, this would become 1, and therefore 1 divided by 1, you would have gotten 1. So this is necessarily false. This is necessarily false. We agree? If both of them were 2 and 1, then this is necessarily false. At this time, you can straight away jump here and go false. If both of them are positive, one of the terms is going to be positive, one of the terms is going to be negative, and therefore you will get 1 by 1. This is also false. Finally, if x and y are both negative, this will again be false. You would get 1 by 1 even here, 1 by 1 even here, 1 by 1 of course here. All 3 of them are necessarily false. Then which of the following is not necessarily false? Option B. If you pay attention, there is a lot of play acting when I introduce questions to you, because the first thing I had done was, remember when this part was on and people had reached 3 by 8, I had stated, oh, even if one of them is negative, then we will get 1. And that is precisely the insight or the highlight that had to be used for this question and the subsequent question, both these places. log 10 to the base 10, log 10 to the base 10 के नीचे कोई भी नंबर हो और log base, क्या बोल रहे तुम ऋतिक? ये आता है ऋतिक? ये नेगेटिव होगा? Anything under 1, anything under 1, it would mean this is negative. And it is not just for 10, for any base. If you're getting log 0.25, 0.34, 0.12, the value of the entire expression will be negative. Okay, fun. Let us go to the next game. Okay, ending it here. At roughly at the 37-second mark, 8 people round 1, 5 people round 2, 1 person skip. The 1 person skip, did we skip because this has trigonometric functions involved? I am guessing so. So let's go. There is some tower, some point A here, some point B here. Now technically angle of depression is this. This is A degree, and therefore this is also A degree. And this is B degree. Therefore this is also B degree. This is H. We need this plus this. So I'm going, let's call this S, and let's call this M. Now we need M. Do I know M by H will be equal to what? For angle B, M by H will be equal to what? Will it be equal to cot B degree? Pandit Bhola Prasad Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Pandit Bhola Prasad. Base by perpendicular. So we get M is equal to H cot B degree. And if M is equal to H cot B degree, can I say S is equal to H cot A degree? So the width of the river happily will turn out to be M plus S, which is equal to H time of cot A degree plus cot B degree. Yo. R2 because we have to make diagram. This is fine. This is fine. ठीक है, नहीं लेते रिवर में तो भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं. इतना the point on the near shore is A degree and the point on directly opposite on the far shore is B degree. The width of the river can be. मैंने एक बैंक, हाँ हाँ ठीक है, you went this way. This is this and then this is this, right? This is how you went about doing it. And you would have gotten A degree here, B degree here. So if this is S, this is N, this is H. These are still valid. Now you need is S minus M, sorry, M minus S. So M minus S would be H cot B degree minus H cot A degree. Okay, this makes it problematic. I had not thought of the wording being used that way at all, because the observation tower directly opposite. That is fine. Value put करके check कर सकते, which is what was going to be my next way, but right now I have hit a different snag, you know. Observation. I don't know. Maybe opposite side बोला है, same side नहीं. Near shore and the point directly opposite on the far shore. I don't know. In my head, this is the diagram that gets created. I don't know if this directly opposite on the far shore to the point. Say if my tower was here, this is the near shore point, and the far shore point is here. Isn't this directly opposite on the far shore of this initial point? Makes sense. It is not. Tower is above river. Ooh. Tower is h meters above the level of water, level of river. Hey, pay attention. Pay attention. Yes, yes. If tower is h meters above the level of river, doesn't this sort of imply? Doesn't this sort of imply it has to be in the river? If it was on the land, would you say it is this much level above the water? If it was on land, if it is something is on land, do you say this is h meters above the level of river? No, 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 no. Ab ye random argumentation. No, no. This is unacceptable. This is the only acceptable case. This is done. भाई जैसे सी लेवल पे क्या हम एक स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट या एक स्पेसिफिक बिल्डिंग के लिए अबव सी लेवल बोलते हैं? आज तक किसी बिल्डिंग की हाइट सुनी है XYZ meters above sea level? For a building, have you heard above sea level? Or for a city or for a settlement, have you heard above sea level? बिल्डिंग की नहीं होती ना above sea level. ये मतलब I understand where the doubt came from. I completely buy into it. But then this line here above the level of the river clarifies it. It has to be within water only. It has to be within water only. It cannot be outside of water. Now the other thing that I was going for. See, we don't know if you don't know sine, cos, tan, and all that jazz. All that expression is not clear in your head. Then probably what you can do is, do we know wonderful things? Do we know values at least? Hopefully we know values. We can take 45 and let's take 45 at one place and let's take 60 at one place. Let's take different values. If you take 45, 45, everything will kind of be equal only, no? So let's take 45 at one place. Let's take 60 at one place. If this is 60h, opposite 30, what will it be? Opposite 45, of course, this will be h only. And then you can work your way around it. Life is okay. Yeah, I understand. But none of these also I have to eliminate. No, I can eliminate B and C very, very quickly. But to eliminate none of these, I have to. So you can possibly take good angles that you are familiar with, which are either you take 30 here or you take 45 here, whatever angle you want to take. Take smaller numbers and then you can work. Thank you, Ayush. That is the validation I seek. Going to the next one now. Okay. This is the sort of question which should be voted for within 20 seconds. Although I gave you 30 seconds in total. 10 people are saying they will vote for solve this in round 1. 4 people are saying they will solve this in round 2. All you have to look at is, when we are looking at y-axis, the equation of y-axis is x equal to 0. We've got something at -10 and something at 4 with 0. This entire thing is how much? 10 units. This entire thing is how much? 4 units. The ratio is 5:2. That is it. We don't really care for the y coordinate in this case. Only the x coordinate is good enough to tell me the ratio in which the line is being cut. Okay. क्यों लेंगे? इनक्लाइन से क्या फर्क पड़ रहा? तुम्हें लाइंस बनाने का मन है, if you want to draw a line and you want to solve it properly that way, go ahead, do it. That is not required in this case. We only want the ratio, no? The distance of 2, the distance of 5. We are done. Okay, let's go. Ending the poll. Ending the poll. 11 out of 15 people have decided whether they are going to solve this or not after 40 seconds. Just one thing. The next question is this. Relaunching the poll. Now you're deciding for both questions combined. Okay, 14 out of 15 people voted. 6 are going to do it in round 1. 6 are going to do it in round 2, and 2 people are going to skip this question altogether. Hopefully, you realize this question is nothing but a different way of writing down Venn diagram. This is a set theory question. Straightforward. So, day 1, day 2, and day 3. First day only is 60. There are 100 people here. Second day is 70. Day 3 is 46. First and second days is 30. This is 30. First and third days is 28. Now, from my experience, I know, from my information, I know this circle, this entire circle was supposed to be 100. 60 is already here. So these 3 regions were supposed to add up to 40. These 3 regions were supposed to add up to 40. But these 3 regions right now, when the middle region is being counted twice, is adding up to 58, which means this is 18, this is 12, this is 10. Last thing is second and third days is 23. This is 18, this will be 5. 30 plus 5, this is 35. And this will be what now? 10 plus 18 plus 5, 33 one. So this will be 13 now. The number of candidates who appeared on the screen test on all 3 days is 18. This is part 1. Second part is what percent of the candidates appeared for the screen test on any one day only. First, we have to find out how many appeared on one day only. That is 108. Out of how many? Let's see. 100 is already used up here. 40 plus 30. Out of 153. When we cancel out 9, so you're left with 12 by 17. Now 12 by 17 I know has to be less than 75%. But 12 by 17, but has to be greater than 66.66%. Less than 75%, greater than 2 by 3. Basically, I'm going 12 by 16, I know the value of. 12 by 18, I know the value of. So 12 by 17 has to lie somewhere in between. The only option that fits is option B. That will be the answer. The people who are choosing to skip this, I'm more worried that you did not catch up. This is a Venn diagram question. That is critical. Once you get Venn diagram, then everything is clear. Okay, let's go next. Okay. At the end of 40 seconds, 7 people have decided, which is absolutely shambolic. 2 people have decided round 1, 5 people have decided round 2, which is fine. The 2 people who have decided round 1, do you realize you have to do a 10% rise for 10 years? I don't know how wonderfully proficient you are at mathematics or even calculator, but 10% rise for 10 years is lots of work. But okay. The first person, in the first year, he was getting 300 into 12, annual increment of 30. So in the next year, he'll get 330 into 12, then 360 into 12, so on and so forth. And this will keep going till 570 into 12. This is the income generated by the first person, which will be equal to 870. So 435 into 12 into 10. This is the income generated by the first individual. Yes. Now for the second individual, the counting has to be slightly different. It has to be 2400. In the first year, he has earned 2400. In the second year, he has earned 2400 into 1.1. In the third year, he has earned it as 2400 into 1.1 raised to the power 2. Then 2400 into 1.1 raised to the power 3. In this excuse will keep on going till 2400 into 1.1 raised to the power 9. Now this is a GP, summation of which will turn out to be 2400 into 1.1 raised to the power 10 minus 1 divided by 1.1 minus 1, or you got 24,000 into 1.1 raised to the power 5 minus 1 into 1.1 raised to the power 5 plus 1. This is more an IFT question. Do we know 1.1 raised to the power 5? This will turn to 24,000. No, that is not 156,251 is not the answer. 1.61051 minus 1 into 2.61051. Yes. Now you multiply this in calculator or whatever way you want. You add both these expressions up and then you finally get option D. Ritik, please read the question carefully. यार. Please read the question carefully. हर महीने उसका 30 रुपया बढ़ रहा है क्या? With an annual increment of rupees 30 per month. Annual increment of 30 per month. एक साल के बाद 30 रुपया पर महीना मेरा सैलरी बढ़ा देना. हर महीने मेरा सैलरी 30 रुपया मत बढ़ा देना. किसी ऑफिस में होता है नहीं होता वाला बात नहीं हो तो रीडिंग भाई अलग ही गेम होगी ना. रीडिंग खत्म हो जाएगी. ओके. Now the fun thing is not what is to be done for this question. The fun thing is two people are saying they will do this in round 1. 7 people, sorry, 5 people are saying they will do this in round 2. These 5 people I am on board with. The remaining 8 people are not even going to attempt this, which is wonderful. People, we are not looking to solve questions right now. We are simply looking to decide. Decision. At roughly the 33-second mark, 12 out of 15 people have decided. 2 people are going to attempt this in round 1. 10 people are going to attempt this in round 2, which is fine. 3 people who are not deciding is challenging. Chetish travels from A to B at a speed of X km per hour, after which he rests at B for X hours. He then travels from B to C at speed of 2x km per hour and rests for 2x hours at C. Then moves further to D at a speed 4 times that between A and B, or speed of 4x. He thus reaches D in 20 hours. What is the distance? If the distances AB, BC, CD are all equal to 16, the time for which he rested at C could be, look at this, 16 by x plus 16 by 2x plus 2x. Get out of the way. Plus 16 by 4x is equal to 20. So this cancels out to give me 8. This cancels out to give me 4. This becomes 28 by x plus 3x is equal to 20, or 3x square minus 20x plus 28 is equal to 0. 3x square minus 14x minus 6x plus 28 is equal to 0. 3x minus 14 minus 2, 3x minus 14 is equal to 0. So x minus 2, 3x minus 14 equal to 0. X is equal to 2, or x is equal to 14 by 3. The time for which he rested at C was 2x. It is either 4 hours or it is 28 by 3 hours. Now 28 by 3 hours translates to 1 by 3 hours. These are the two possibilities. Only 4 is mentioned. That is done. Within this question, do you also remember something we had talked of in class sometime? Whenever the question setter is trying to give you such a question in which he is looking for 2x, clearly you could identify he's looking for 2x. there will be an option which is X, because in this solving, the fact that there were 2 and 4 here, after you reach 4 here, you should be extra confident your solving is right. You should be extra confident your solving is right. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, 40 seconds in, all 15 of you have voted, which is wonderful. 2 people deciding round 1, 12 people deciding round 2, and 1 person deciding to skip. Okay. Let's see, there are 2 water tanks. Acha, right now, based on what we talked of just in the last question, there are 2 water tanks such that the volumes are in the ratio of 1:4. The bigger water tank has 3 taps, RST, which can be used to drain water from it. R fills 4 buckets in 24 minutes. Or can I say 10 buckets in an hour? S fills 8 buckets in 1 hour and T fills 2 buckets in 20 minutes, or 6 buckets in 1 hour. If all the taps are open together, a full tank is emptied in 2 hours. So 10 plus 8 plus 6. This is as good as 24 buckets. 24 buckets in 1 hour. If it is emptied in 2 hours, can I say large tank is equal to how much? 48 buckets. Large tank is equal to 48 buckets. If the volume of the bucket is 2.75 liters, what is the volume of the smaller tank? This is smaller tank. 48 buckets. 48 into 2.75 is 11 by 4. Cancel, cancel. We get 12, 132. Pay attention. This is for the large tank. The question had asked me for smaller tank. Answer should be 33. Even within this, if you have not done any maths of it, when you're reading through, there are 2 water tanks which are in the ratio 1:4, bigger water tank, blah, 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 blah. All the information given to you is for the larger tank. And there is just 1 pair of options which has the ratio 1:4. When you reach 33 here, you should be extra confident. Whatever you've done is correct. Yes. Has to be less than 12 into 3. I don't know where that 12 comes from, but okay, I like it. 12 buckets. What's 12 buckets? Acha, when you reach this place, large bucket is 48 buckets. You straight away go to, okay, 12 buckets, 12 into 2.75 you have to do that. That's fine. Let us go to the next one. Please. 13 people have voted. 5 in round 1, 8 in round 2. 2 people have not voted. My problem here is, why are you not voting? Say, if at all you think, okay, this will take me time, then vote round 2. Why not vote at all? Anyway, Gussie is a talented craftsman who sells his handiwork at Delhi Heart. It costs him 300 plus 4N to make n articles. If the selling price of each article is 6.5, what is the minimum number of articles to be sold per week? If Gussie has to make some profit. Now pay attention. Usually the question is no profit, no loss. So you're looking to equate the cost and the revenue. You're looking to equate the cost and the revenue. But here there has to be some profit. Here there has to be some profit. So your answer has to be one more than the break-even point. Your answer has to be one more than the break-even point. Within the option, there is just one pair there. So I'm not saying mark the answer straight away by that. But when you solve and you reach an answer something close to that, you should be more confident. If you're not getting it, solve it again. Your internal check mechanism can go that way. Okay. So you've got 6.5n has to be greater than 300 plus 4n, or 2.5n has to be greater than 300, or n has to be greater than 120. Therefore, the answer is option A, 121. Yes. The questions are deliberately put. Whatever storyline I had to focus on, I put it right after each other and everything. But this is a far more representative 120 or 121, then fitting value. Will that work? No. What if these are simply decoys and the correct answer is 151? You get some boost. That doesn't mean the answer inhi mein se hoga. Okay. The other thing I was getting at is, you've taken Foxmox. Hopefully, people, lots of you would have taken it. So I hope this test is far more representative of what you can get in CAT rather than what Foxmox was, or even lots of other mock tests right now. Mock tests right now are amazingly difficult papers being set, and so that you remember, okay, this wonderful thing I learned in this last paper. They don't ask you such difficult things. Look at the actual CAT year papers. Actual CAT papers are so much more manageable and doable than what mock papers are doing right now. That I'm not opposed to that level of difficulty, but that level of difficulty has to be taken away at least in the last month. Taking mocks right now and getting demotivated and losing hope about stupid things is so bad. Right now, just chill, have fun. That will be all.